Hello, and welcome to Shrink, the podcast for the mind. I'm Philippe Taron, and I talk to the people who want to have a better understanding of their issues with weight and body image. Today, we're talking about something that every human being has, a body. And more specifically, a relationship with that body. Because body image is not about what your body looks like. It's about the relationship you have with what your body looks like. And that relationship, well, it usually started long before you even knew what calories were, or cellulite, or GLP-1 injections. So today, we're going to unpack different things. What body image really is, where it comes from, why we often see ourselves inaccurately, why hating your body doesn't help you change it, why even weight loss, including with GLP-1 medications, doesn't automatically fix body dissatisfaction, and how to stop letting body image quietly sabotage your life. And don't worry, this won't be dramatic, no violence, just an honest conversation. But body image is more layered than that. It has 4 main components. First one is perceptual, how you see your body. There is a cognitive component as well, what you think about your body. An emotional one, how you feel about your body. And a behavioral one, that's not an easy word for me, behavioral one, is what you do because of how you feel about your body. So perceptual, cognitive, emotional, behavioral. It's not just the mirror. It's the way you choose your clothes, the way you enter a room, whether you cancel your plans because you feel like the other person is going to judge you or won't find you attractive, if that's what you're looking for, whether you allow yourself to be in photos, whether you date, whether you go for that job. Maybe you're tempted by a job and then you think, well, with the way I look, there's no way they're going to hire me. 2 people can have the exact same body and completely different body images, which tells us something crucial. Body image is not objective reality. It's psychological. So where does body image comes from? Where does it originate? Because no one is born hating their sides. When you're a baby, you don't hate yourself. Body image starts forming in childhood. Not because someone sat you down and said, "Welcome, today we will evaluate your stomach." No, of course not. It forms through comments from parents, like "you're big boned" or "careful, that's fattening," or from watching a parent criticize their own body. If you had a mother or a father who was very judgmental about their body, the way they look, well, it's not helping in that case. It forms through being praised primarily for appearance. If you are being told, "Oh, look at my daughter, she's so beautiful." If this, your appearance, the way you looked, was the main thing that your parents would talk about, then your body image is something that's way too important in your mind. That your body image somehow defines you. But it forms through teasing at school sometimes, or through cultural messages. You could say that children are meaning-making machines. I don't know if it's the right expression, but if a child repeatedly hears thin is good, bigger is lazy, appearance is value, well, they will internalize it. And here is the tricky part. It often has very little to do with your actual body. It has everything to do with belonging. As a child, your nervous system asks one question: am I safe and accepted? If you learn that looking a certain way increases approval, well, your brain locks onto that. It becomes some kind of survival. So, why do we often see ourselves inaccurately? Well, let's talk about the mirror to start with, because many people truly believe I'm just being honest about how I look. But body image distortion is incredibly common. When you believe my stomach is unacceptable, your brain scans for evidence. And it's something that I tend to do myself sometimes, but I can stop quite quickly. Let's say if I went out a few times in the weekend, on Monday morning, before I look at my reflection in the mirror, somehow in my mind I will think what I'm going to see is a bigger version of myself. Just because I feel bad about what I've been eating throughout the weekend, doesn't matter what I look like in the mirror, what I will see is what my brain expects me to see. In psychology, we call this confirmation bias. You don't see your body neutrally. You see it through a story. It's like wearing tinted glasses and forgetting you're wearing them. Also, when body image is emotionally loaded, your perception becomes mood dependent. On a confident day, I look fine. On an anxious day, I look huge. Same body, but just a different emotional filter. And if you've dieted repeatedly, scrutinized yourself for years, compared yourself constantly, your brain has practiced noticing flaws. It becomes efficient at it. Imagine training for the Olympic in self-criticism. Well, that's you somehow, if you've been through a lot of diet. Let's have a look at the emotional and psychological triggers. Because negative body image doesn't appear randomly. It gets triggered. I'm going to list a few of these triggers. There are more than that, of course, but the main ones in my mind. There is social comparison, especially with social media. Stress, feeling rejected. Dating vulnerability is a big one as well. Work evaluation. Family gatherings. Weight fluctuations. Trying on clothes in bad lighting. Why are fitting rooms so aggressive, in fact? But yeah, I mean, sometimes I go into some fitting rooms. There's a shop that I really like, and I tried a jacket the other day, and I thought, wow, I'm really big. In fact, it was the lighting, and it was a jacket as well. It wasn't made for me. So yeah, trying on clothes in bad lighting can be a trigger. But there is something deeper. Body dissatisfaction is often a secondary emotion. The primary emotions might be shame, fear, loneliness, feeling like you're not good enough, feeling like you lack of control. The brain finds a concrete focus. My body is the problem. So instead of addressing these issues, your loneliness, your shame, your fears, you focus on one thing. It's a concrete focus. My body is the problem. Whilst it's not the problem is somewhere else. And that's true even if if you lost a lot of weight. We'll get through that in a bit further in the recording with these GLP-1 medications, because I see clients daily who are taking these drugs or have taken these drugs. They're still not at peace with their body, because it feels easier to fix your size than your childhood. And the body becomes a container for unresolved emotion. And you don't want that. You don't want that because negative body image affects your life in many different ways. And this is where it gets serious, like gently serious, but serious. Negative body image affects your relationships, the way you behave with your friends, your family, your partner, your wife, your husband. It affects your intimacy. If you feel like your body is not like the way it should be, well, your physical intimacy will be more difficult for sure. It affects your career progression. It affects your social life. Maybe you won't feel like going out because you will think, well, I'm too fat. I don't want anyone to see me like that. I'll start going out again when I will have lost some weight. It affects your energy levels. And of course, it affects your mental health. It creates self-monitoring. Instead of, what do I think about this conversation? It becomes, how do I look right now? Instead of, what do I want? It becomes, how can I hide? And here is something important for anyone pursuing weight loss. If your motivation is rooted in self-rejection, you carry that rejection with you. Which brings us to something I really want to address, is why hating your body doesn't help you lose weight. It's the opposite. And indeed, many people believe if I accept myself, I'll let myself go. But self-criticism does not create sustainable change. It creates all or nothing cycles, binge restrict patterns, emotional eating, shame spirals. Research consistently shows that shame decreases self-regulation. When you feel defective, your nervous system is dysregulated. And dysregulated nervous system crave comfort, not discipline. And also, if your weight loss is built on I will finally be worthy when I will have lost, 10 pounds, you never arrive. Because worthiness is not a weight. Now, let's talk about GLP-1 medications. Drugs like semaglutide and others have changed the weight loss landscape dramatically. I see people around me, many of them, who are on these weight loss drugs, and they lose weight. Many of them lose significant weight. But clinicians are noticing that weight loss does not automatically resolve body image distress. Why? Well, because body image is not just about a size or a weight. If your core belief is, I'm unacceptable, losing weight simply shifts the target. It becomes loose skin. You will look at yourself and think, yeah, I'm slimmer, but look at all that loose skin. I'm not toned enough. You will still be comparing yourself with others and think others look better than you do. And then there will be this fear of regaining weight, because at some point you will get tired of these injections. And there is also the new appearance anxiety, something I've mentioned in a few of my recordings. Who am I once I've lost that much weight? Some people even experience identity disruption. Who am I now? Because their entire self-concept was organized around being the bigger one. So if someone thinks, I'll finally love myself when I'm thinner, well, they're often shocked to discover that the voice is still there. Maybe just quieter for a week, then back. Because the root wasn't weight, it was self-worth. So, how can you come to terms with your body image? And it's not about forced body positivity. I don't believe in that. You don't have to wake up tomorrow and adore your knees. This is about neutrality and respect. And I'm going to list a few steps. I would start by separating facts from story. So the fact is, for example, my body changed. The story is, this means I failed. Well, no, you haven't failed. Maybe you're comparing your body, the body that you have now, with the one you had 20 or 40 years ago. Or maybe you're comparing it with the body you had before you gave birth to 2 or 3 children. You didn't fail. Your body has changed. Another step that I recommend is to reduce body checking. Every time you check, poke, measure, you reinforce hyperfocus. Gently reduce it. Stop looking at your reflection in every mirror or every shop window that you see. Because depending on your mood, depending on how you slept the night before, depending on the conversation you had an hour before, the way you're going to see yourself is not going to be the same way. It's not going to be accurate. It's not going to be the real you. Another step is to expand your identity so that your identity is not determined by the way you look, by your size, by your age. Expand your identity because you're not a body with a personality. You are a person who has a body. So invest in skills, for example, in relationships, in curiosity, in values. You're not a body with a personality. You're a person who has a body. And then there is the next step, which is regulate emotion before evaluating appearance. If you're anxious, tired, or lonely, do not assess your body. It's like shopping for food when you're hungry. It's not the right time to shop for food because you're more than likely to buy the wrong kind of food if you want to eat healthily. So if you're not in a good place, for whatever reason, leave your body aside. Don't check it. I would also recommend to shift from appearance goals to care goals. Instead of how do I look, try how do I feel? What would support my energy? What builds strength? So it's not all about how you look, but it's about taking care of yourself. And then, of course, I think you should work with the underlying shame. Often body image healing requires deeper emotional work because the body was never the original wound. I've done this job as a therapist specialized in weight loss and body image for over 20 years now, and I'm very confident I can repeat this: the body was never the original wound. I could talk for hours about body image. It's a topic that I'm really passionate about for many years now. Well, I do sometimes talk for hours when I give a talk, but that's not the purpose of this podcast. If you take one thing from today, let it be this: your body image is a learned psychological pattern, which means it can be unlearned. Your body is not sabotaging you. Your body has carried you through everything. And the more you build a respectful relationship with it, the less power the mirror has over your life. You don't need to love every inch, but you can stop making your body your enemy, because your life is happening now, not 10 kilos from now, not after injections, not after the perfect photo. Now, that's when it's happening, with the body that you have now. And you deserve to be in it. Thank you.